Okay, listen to me right quick, y'all, because I've been noticing this is getting wild in these internet streets, and y'all need to understand what's going on. Now, I know when her loose booty denture having said it the first time, nobody was really receptive to it, but when Nancy Pelosi did confront those Palestine protesters and saying that they were being funded by the GOP, she was not wrong. A lot of these, I'm not saying all, because there are a lot of sincere people who actually do want Palestine's freedom out here protesting. But a large chunk of them, a large chunk of the ones that are organized, are being led by GOP operatives with GOP money to sow division within the left so that they can retain political power in this country. I actually have a draft of a TikTok that I never released with all this information on it, because the way I was talking in the TikTok and how I felt about it at the time, I was like, this is not going to be productive and I'm not going to put this out. But I'm going to put it now just to show you the evidence that I had. And so disregard anything that may come across as insensitive to the cause in this video, because I'm not going to do it over. But hold on a second. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So I was reading this article, right? And it's talking about this guy, Khalid Tarani, one of the organizers of the Abandon Biden movement. They're up there in Dearborn, Michigan. And he's saying, I and my community need to punish Joe Biden by making him a one-term president. Let me tell you something about these people, y'all. People like this are usually one of two categories. They are either chaos agents who are being paid by the GOP to help white supremacy continue to proliferate in this country, and now they are in service to fascism in this country. Or two, they're narcissistic psychopaths who are trying to build a cult following, right? A cult of personality, just like MAGAs. You ask yourself why educated people are believing in QAnon and all these kinds of things. It's because narcissistic psychopaths have convinced them that these ideals that they hold on to are more tangible than actual actions that they can do to improve the situation, right? It's the reason why I say your feelings are valid, but they're not facts. Because the fact is that a GOP administration is going to do worse to Palestinian people than the Democratic administration under Joe Biden will ever do, number one. Number two, or Kamala, your plans and your action items of making Joe Biden a one-term president does nothing to ameliorate the situation for Palestinian people. Not one thing. If you make Joe Biden a one-term president, or if you don't vote for Kamala, going to retire with his millions and be fine. However, you and everybody else that's not a white heterosexual Christo-fascist male in this country is in for a rude awakening, and this is going to last for decades. Decades. These idiots out here talking about, well, we survived 4 years under Trump, we can survive 4 more. Number one, there's a million people who did not survive under Trump in this country, number one. And number two, it's not going to be 4 years under Trump. It's going to be forever under fascism, because y'all don't understand how the system works. They showing you right now in your face. The Supreme Court is playing in our face right now over this goddamn case with Donald Trump. But y'all don't want to realize that. And you think not voting for Joe Biden is going to help somebody? You're a moron. Period. But allow me to remind you of something, Mr. Tarani and Mr. Awad. Let me remind you of something that you seem to have forgotten conveniently. Number one, it was the Trump administration that instituted a Muslim ban in this country. So if you don't think that they're going to reinstitute that in addition to exporting y'all clean the out of here or putting you in internment camps on this soil, you got another mother coming, bitch. Tell you what, you know who the Patriots hate worse than black people? Never forget, ho. Never mother forget. Y'all gonna keep this up until somebody starts these conspiracy theories that y'all are descendants of Osama bin Laden and you trying to blow up America from the inside and y'all are terrorists and all this. You're gonna keep on and you're gonna take our right back to 2001, 2002, when y'all were the most hated group in this goddamn country. And baby, let me tell you right now, the black community ain't gonna have no sources to help your because we gonna be too busy trying to fight for our own, okay? So it's too bad so mother said I'ma hate it for you, but guess what? We ain't gonna have no way to help you because we gonna be too busy trying to keep our out of internment camps. Okay. Y'all don't understand the holistic view that you need to be viewing this through. You are too busy either all in your own feelings, and you're 1% of the electorate. You're 1% say. Good luck when these motherfuckers start seeing something and saying something again, okay? Good luck. And as a black woman generations deep with her ancestors' blood in the soil of this country, I think I have earned the right to say this. If the legislative action you are suggesting does not help marginalized Americans, you need to shut the up about it. If you are so worried about what's going on to your people in another country, you need to take your ass over there and fight for them, or fight here effectively. What you are proposing is not effective. What you are proposing is illogical chaos. Y'all need to start thinking critically. Y'all need to start thinking analytically. Y'all need to start looking behind these groups and seeing who's funding them, because follow the money. That's all I can say. Follow the money. And y'all need to vote, ho, because that is the only power we have as Americans to control what our legislature does and does not do to us and people abroad. And if you do not want to vote, then you need to shut the up about politics in this country. Period. Point. And right here, you can see the date of that draft. It was in February. So that's why I'm still talking about Joe Biden and yada, 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 right? This is the evidence that I was talking about that I did not put in that video because I didn't finish that video. But Khalid Tarani is an executive director for the American Muslims for Jerusalem. This man has been a GOP operative since before some of y'all were born, okay? Because this C-SPAN appearance was in 2001, okay? And that was before 9/11. So y'all need to really evaluate who the y'all listening to. Here's another article with the same quote he said in the New York Times thing. Our goal is to punish Joe Biden by making him a one-term president. Now they've switched and said our goal is to make sure that Kamala Harris is not elected. How does that goal help the people of Palestine? It doesn't. But you know who it helps? The motherfucking GOP. Also, to show you how irony takes no days off with these people, this man said, when there's a fire in my next door neighbor's house, I can't be talking about the garbage on his lawn or that I don't like the purple color of his door. No, put out the fire and then we'll talk about the rest later. That's what he said. Well, guess what? The GOP has America on fire right now. But y'all want to talk about the purple color of the door about Palestine. Y'all want to talk about the garbage on the lawn, talking about geopolitical conflict. America is on fire. We can talk about that later when we elect somebody who is going to help put out the fire. Earlier this year, he was at some event and they incorrectly identified him as a far left Democratic voter, talking about it's like a vaccine. I'm willing to take short-term pain for long-term gain. He is not a far left, and somebody put a community note on it, but he's not even a far left Democratic voter. I'm telling y'all, these people are ops. And now they have Syrian nationals on Twitter talking about Americans need to suffer a little. Baby, see, this is why they want to take African-American history out to schools, because some of y'all ain't even old enough to understand that black people been suffering in this country since 1619. You and your mama if you think that we need to go through something to understand Palestine. Y'all, what we need to do is ice these people out. Stop talking to them. Stop paying attention to them. Do not engage, because what they want is chaos. What they want is division. What they want is for to turn violent so that then they can go, see, we're justified in our cause against what these black people. Do not engage. Block them. Say what you got to say and block them. Well, at least that's what I do. I say what I got to say and then I block them. And that way they have been sent back to the ether. Number one, I done got it out of my system and then I can keep moving forward. They want violence. They probably want some to pop off at the Democratic National Convention next week in Chicago. And I'm sure that they're planning to demonstrate there. Also, another thing about Mr. Tarani. Khalid Tarani is also the new executive director of the Columbus, Cincinnati, and Dayton, Ohio offices of CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, right? This is the same organization that invited Sean King, Talcum X, to speak at their event. And then when uproar went on about it on social media, they canceled him out. So I don't know if these people do any kind of homework on the people that they invite into their organization. But I'm going to tell you this. When you invite a lifelong GOP operative into an organization that is supposed to be centered on the rights, the voting rights, the privileges, and the freedoms of marginalized people in this country, you are shooting yourself in the foot, sweetheart, because now you in bed with the ops. You done let the enemy in the back door, sweetheart. The GOP is the party that's trying to take everybody's voting rights away. The GOP is the party that's against marginalized communities in this country. So why the would you link up with a GOP operative? A lot of y'all are too young to remember how was in 2001. A lot of y'all are too young to understand the system, and a lot of y'all just refuse to educate yourselves on the system. That is why I spend my time trying to help you. So let me help you right here. Stop believing GOP operatives. If anybody is trying to convince you to do something that is against your own best interest in this country, you need to start doing your homework on what their true motives are. And somebody like Khalid Tarani, a lifelong Republican, can't trust it. Can't trust it. Word to public enemy. What you need to do to secure your freedom in this country is vote, ho, and fire the entire GOP, because that is the party that is trying to take your voting rights away and all of your individual personal rights away. And Khalid Tarani has been working for them for decades. Get the out of here with this nonsense. Vote, ho.